Juneteenth big day, because it's when the last of the slaves in our country actually found out that the good guys won the war and that they are free. It took a long time, and we're still working on truly having everybody be free. But it's sort of like when women got to vote. There's still a lot to be done, but it's a sign that we're starting to be free. We're starting to have that perfect union that they talked about so many years ago. Hi, welcome to Chronicles of Nani. I'm Nani. This is the vlog where I often talk about the fact that I have progressive MS and I'm in a wheelchair. And this week especially, I still deal with the real world, and my life is living with MS and living in a wheelchair and still experiencing as much of normal as I possibly can. And this weekend has been a crazy busy weekend, and it's been really normal. And if you like the thought of living with a chronic illness and living in a wheelchair and still making it as normal as possible, this is the place. Hit that subscribe button, because it's someplace you want to come back to, and you want to hear about things being normal and things being optimistic. And I'm not going to tell you that that's all there ever is, because sometimes it's not so great, because that's real. Now, of course, this is my cyber coffee shop, and it wouldn't be a coffee shop without coffee, right? So here's today's coffee. The coffee mug is my Chessie, the Railroad Kitten coffee mug. Sleep like a kitten and wake up refreshed. Who wouldn't love a sleeping tabby cat on the railroad? I would take that railroad any place that I was going, simply because they advertise with a cute little kitty. I have a ton of railroad coffee mugs and a ton of baseball coffee mugs. So you see a bunch of those from time to time. And today is Railroad Coffee Mug and Railroad Kitten. You can't get better than that. This past weekend has been so incredibly normal in so many wonderful ways. It's kind of left me sort of thinking, okay, so what exactly is today going to be? Well, to start with, it was my plan that Saturday, because it was such a full day, I was going to record all day, and it was going to be all about all the wonderful things that were going on Saturday. So this is my day out and about Saturday. We were making a quick stop right now, and we're on the way to a wedding, a couple of friends of ours. And then a very full day after that. That kind of didn't totally work. And we did get to start our Saturday off with a wedding. It was a friend that I think I met the first time at our wedding reception weekend. And David hadn't known him a long time, but long enough time that he definitely wanted to invite him to our Sunday Railfan luncheon. The woman he's been dating for the last 4 years, she's a fantastic woman who's always made a point of stopping by when I was still in the wheelchair van, because the two of them were shooting a train, and she liked to go along for the ride and was not a big train fan. And if it was a quick stop for a train, I was still in the wheelchair van. So she'd stop by and we'd have conversations while the guys were out taking their photographs. And they're such a fun couple. I can't tell you how happy. It was just enjoyable to watch, and it was a wonderful way to start off a Saturday. Now, the next thing that we did after the wedding reception, we headed out to visit a friend who is in in-house physical therapy. She was having some, problems with her knees that ended up in a trip and fall, and she ended up in the hospital. They found out she has bulging discs in her lower back and really messed up knees. She's in physical therapy. They're getting her to the point where she can move around and walk like she's supposed to, and all the best to her. And the next thing on Saturday is it was the day before Father's Day, but I got to see my dad. We stopped at my dad and my aunt's place. It was back when I still lived at home, and when I asked Pop, "What would you like for Father's Day?" his answer was, "Just stay home." All he wanted for Father's Day was his kids there. And my brother and my sister-in-law were going to be there. And I stayed home. And Pop had both of his kids there. That's all he wanted for Father's Day. That's all he ever wants for Father's Day. Now, with Dave living in Indiana and with me living in Ohio, and Pop I'm the closest, and I'm an hour and a half away, and in a wheelchair, and I don't drive. So we don't necessarily get together and both of us be there on Father's Day. But we always make sure that we call and especially say Father's Day, Happy Father's Day. In fact, on that Saturday, the night before Father's Day, we did a WhatsApp is the name of the app that my dad's got on his phone to actually do face-to-face, because he does not have an iPhone with FaceTime. Otherwise, that'd be really easy because we could hook that up as a 3-person. But let's not add a bunch of technology to Pop. I think he does pretty good. And consider he's 77 years old, no problem with the phone. He doesn't send texts, but he can read his texts, and he uses his phone for communication and to clock in and out at work. So at work, I've said before that my father sucks at being retired, and that's the absolute truth. So when he's working in the produce department at Meijer, he needs to have his phone there to take calls as needed or to make calls as needed for work. And there are a lot of things that are done through the phone at work. A lot of things are done on the computer at work. And like I said, Pop is 77 years old, still working like he's a kid, and still working like I wish I could be working at 77. I guess the forced into retirement workaholic that is me comes from the fact that my father is a sucks at being retired workaholic, because he enjoys what he does. And that's why I was a workaholic, because I enjoy what I did. So we did a WhatsApp call, and so Dave and I both got to see Dad face to face the day before Father's Day, and we got to say hello to each other face to face, which we only do FaceTime once in a while. It's usually regular phone and hour-long at times conversation. The other reason that we were at Pop's house the day before Father's Day was sort of planned that way. And that is that we have a new kitten. My dad's had some issues, and I shouldn't say issues. My aunt and my dad have gotten to the point where they had so many cats on their porch all the time, and a couple of cats that had moved into the garage. And they were starting to get overwhelmed. And what I mean by overwhelmed is you reach the point where you can't afford to keep feeding them, because the cats were all over the place at Pop and my aunt's house because they put food out for them. In fact, my father had built 2 different shelters that they could get into and be warm in the winter, and they would still stay cool in the summer. They're made out of Coleman coolers, the really big ones. So the cats have shelter, and my aunt and my dad have food out for them and milk. And they also, my dad, as he referred to, make sure they have their wieners, which is Vienna sausages. And the cats would be waiting at the door, and my dad would open up a can of Vienna sausages and have Vienna sausages for the cats. So I can't imagine why they had a problem with the cats all showing up at their door all the time. My dad was sort of beside himself because now we've got too many cats. What do we do? David put him in touch with the woman who fosters pregnant cats and who initially brought JD to us, and connected him with a person who does spay or neuter and release for feral cats. And then they collect as many of the kittens as they can and put them up for adoption so that they can find forever homes. Because when it comes right down to it, life as a house cat is a lot more luxurious and safer than life as a cat in the field who might end up being coyote snack someday. In fact, my aunt said through tears that she watched one of the neighborhood dogs carting off one of the kittens, never to be seen again, because they couldn't find some place that would do spay and neuter, that would collect the kittens. And we were able to connect them with somebody that could do that. There was one exception. I'm easily emotionally manipulated. My dad knows this well. So when we're talking, he was talking to me about, you guys were talking about adopting another cat. And we had been for a while about adopting one of his cats. We have a kitten in the garage. And the kitten is so cute. All right, you got my interest with the kitten is so cute. And then he goes on to tell me when she eats, she makes noises. She's just purr, purr, meow, meow, really happy noises when she eats. And she reminds me of you, because when you were a baby, you would make all kinds of happy noises when you ate. Before you started talking, you would eat, and it would always be the meow, 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 meow. And you make happy noises and let everybody know, I'm eating good food and I'm so happy to have good food. And the kitten reminds me of you when you were a baby. When your dad tells you that, and it's right before Father's Day, do you have a choice but to take the kitten home and make it yours? There's nothing that says, I really want you to adopt this kitten more, than It reminds me of you when you were a baby. And my dad knows me really well. So, yeah, we have a kitten. We are calling her Sean Casey. We call her Casey. And it's spelled different than the baseball player. But she's named after a baseball player who played for the Reds, the Tigers, and the Red Sox, which are our three house teams. The Sunday was Father's Day and Juneteenth on the same day, which is cool because it's a great day to celebrate both holidays, because you can have a cookout or a party, or at least acknowledge both of them. Call your dad, say a special prayer to your dad, whichever is appropriate, and celebrate Juneteenth because it's one of the major days in our country that makes it more of what the Founding Fathers meant it to be. The Constitution was not written in stone. It was written to grow, which it has grown. And every one of those special days, the 4th of July is a big holiday for Happy Birthday America. But happy birthday and happy real what America is supposed to be has so many significant days over the course of the year. Isn't that great to be able to say that the entire year is a holiday about our freedom? And that's pretty much what it is. Juneteenth, big day, because it's when the last of the slaves in our country actually found out that we, being the good guys, won the war and that they are free. It took a long time, and we're still working on truly having everybody be free. But it's sort of like when women got to vote. There's still a lot to be done, but it's a sign that we're starting to be free. We're starting to have that perfect union that they talked about so many years ago when the whole thing started. And it was meant to be a document that would grow. And I think we should celebrate every day that marks a historic point where that document has grown and where we are reaching that perfect union. As we finish things up, wish me luck and that I don't get mauled too much by the kitten. Even if we couldn't have cats, we'd probably still make a yearly donation to the shelter that we do. And by yearly donation, it could be a financial donation. If it's something where you just can't have pets in your apartment, you can still volunteer. And you can be with the cats and dogs and volunteer and help out and help them find forever homes, even if you can't provide it for them. So that's definitely something to look into, and something that will make you feel really good if you can help out. For now, I will remind everybody that the Cyber Coffee Shop is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can have coffee with me anytime. And thank you for joining me this week, and I will hopefully be seen by you next week. Even some more if you want to binge watch for a while. I'm okay with that too. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.